In the main event of UFC Fight Night, Gane versus Spivac, we have the Frenchman, Ciryl Gane taking on Serghei Spivac. So Ciryl Gane, bon gamin, which means good boy. This is the 33-year-old out of Paris, France. He is 11-2 as a pro in MMA. He has a very decorated record in heavyweight Muay Thai before he went into MMA. But he's 11-2 in MMA as a pro. Only 3 of his wins have gone the distance, so he has 5 knockout victories and another 3 submission victories, which might be a little surprising to hear that he has any, considering his skill set. So, most recently, he lost. His only 2 losses in MMA, it's worth noting, were in UFC title fights. So he squandered both of his opportunities, first losing a decision to Francis Ngannou back in January of 2022. Then he knocked out the surging Tai Tuivasa, bringing that hype train to a screeching halt. And then he went up against Jon Jones for the vacant belt after Ngannou vacated the belt and left the UFC. And Jon Jones choked him out in about 2 minutes. So, grappling is sort of the monkey on Ciryl Gane's back in his 2 MMA losses, because Ngannou basically manufactured that win by using a lot of wrestling, and Jon Jones did what Jon Jones did back in March of this year. He will be standing across from another guy who's pretty damn good at grappling in Serghei Spivac, the polar bear. He is the 28-year-old, damn, he's still very young, Moldovan. He is 16-3 as a pro. Only 2 of his 16 wins has gone the distance. He has 7 subs and 7 knockouts on his record. He's only lost 3 times. He himself has never been submitted. He's lost 1 decision and has been knocked out twice. And he's riding a 3-fight win streak coming into this weekend's fight, defeating Greg Hardy, Augusto Sakai, and most recently Derek Lewis by submission in round number 1. Omar, give us your take and then your pick of this very consequential heavyweight bout between Spivac and Gane.
Realize Mark's not here to give us odds.
Oh yeah, can you find him? Find him.
I think the ones I don't know where he gets them from. I keep forgetting where he gets them from. But the ones that I can find right now are minus 165 for Ciryl Gane and plus 145 for Spivac. UFC has it as minus 166 for Gane and plus 140 for Spivac. So Spivac is, I mean, it's a relatively close fight. It's not super wide as far as the line is concerned, but man, it's such an interesting fight because you're right. Spivac is the problem is that Francis Ngannou is such a non-wrestler that what happened in that title fight against Ciryl Gane will forever haunt the takedown defense of Ciryl Gane. Not to mention that the next opportunity he gets to show some takedown defense, Jon Jones absolutely abuses him within 2 minutes. So there's not a ton of confidence there when it comes to the takedown defense and him being able to keep guys who are decent at grappling, because I don't even think you can say Ngannou is necessarily super good at grappling. He's probably got the basics down at best, and he was able to take down Gane at will in that fight for the most part. So it does give me a lot of pause, man, because can he catch Serghei Spivac? Can he keep him on the outside? Totally possible. But Spivac is not an easy out. And that man, if he gets his arms around you and you cannot stop a takedown, he will eat you alive 100%. Yep. And I think that's where I'm going to land, man. As much as I believe in Ciryl Gane and I like his style and I like the way he fights, I think that takedown defense or lack thereof, I think is going to be his undoing if he hasn't done anything to fix it. And I can't go off of the idea that he has right now. I have done that before with other people. I can't do that with this one right now. So I'm going to go with Spivac here. I think he comes out big in this fight. I think he shoots up in the rankings when it's all said and done. But I do think he brings it down to the ground. I think he rides Ciryl Gane for a while. I'm going to go with a submission here, round 4.
It's a little unfortunate that I also am going to go with Serghei Spivac. It's a little unfortunate because Ciryl Gane is sort of a promotional darling of the UFC. He looks like an action figure. He looks like, comparisons have been made appearance-wise between him and Anthony Joshua, that he's the MMA Anthony Joshua. He's like this giant, handsome, jacked guy from France who's like a kickboxer at heavyweight and dances around like a welterweight. And, he put in a little bit he didn't come into the UFC and like walk into a title shot. He has quite a few fights in the UFC. He put in a little, his dues, and he marched up the rankings by staying undefeated until he fought Ngannou for the title. He finished Derek Lewis. He finished Tai Tuivasa. He finished Junior Dos Santos. He beat Rosenstrike. The guy's good.
Yeah.
But he didn't fight a grappler, really, until John Jones. And he didn't fight before that. And Ngannou used grappling, although that took just about everybody in the universe by surprise. Mm-hmm. Nobody saw that coming. But, dude, styles make fights. And I feel that this is not a great stylistic matchup for Ciryl Gane. And the last time he fought a pure... not that John Jones is just a pure grappler, but John Jones is a guy who is such a good MMA grappler that he grapples who he wants when he wants, and that's what he does. Do I think that Spivac is the level of grappler of John Jones? I don't know if I go that far. I don't know if I'm going to say that. But Serghei Spivac has impressed me quite a bit at the grappling that he has displayed. He has dominated some guys on the ground. He is big. He's a big 6'3". I know that Ciryl Gane is going to be taller. He's listed at, I think, 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
And I see here that Spivac is 6'3", or listed at 6'3". But I feel that he's a big 6'3", especially on the ground. When he grapples, it's like he really exacts his will on his opponents. And coupled with the fact that Ciryl Gane is not the kind of striker. He's a striker through and through, but he's not the kind of striker who has touch of death power. He might be good if he wanted to be that kind of fighter, but he's not that kind of guy. He's not that kind of striker. He dances, he measures, he downloads, he picks you apart pretty much from the outside. And then he kind of cranks it up. He kind of like dials it in as the fight goes on. It's kind of like what he did to Tuivasa. It's what he did to Derek Lewis. That being said, that given that, I think Spivac is going to go at him. He's going to find his spots, and he's going to secure a takedown, and he's going to go to work. And I don't know if Ciryl Gane has done the work to negate that at this point. So I'm going to say that he suffers another submission loss at the hands of Serghei Spivac. And I'm going to say that this happens in round 2. And the 28-year-old out of Moldova is going to be suddenly on everybody's radar because he's going to get the biggest win of his career over the former title challenger, Ciryl Gane. And there you have it, my friend.